The Beosound Emerge speaker by Bang Olufsen just launched, and I think it's worth talking about. Overall, this design shows a very strong, singular point of view. There isn't much up for interpretation to this design, which is a testament to the Bang Olufsen team for rallying together and sticking to a concise vision. This is really hard to do in large companies, and it's especially difficult to do when you're outsourcing aspects of the process to outside firms. Bang & Olufsen outsourced the industrial design to Layer Design, which is a London-based consultancy, and all parties did a great job of maintaining a clear vision for the product. So let's talk a little bit about the industrial design of this product. I think this design communicates three main things from a purely industrial design perspective. The first thing is depth. There are multiple layers of meaning to this design. This isn't just a speaker, it's a speaker that's inspired by the clever ingenuity of books. Books are arguably the most ingenious invention of the past 1,000 years, and Bang & Olufsen cleverly borrows from that rich heritage. The form factor is actually really similar to a PS5, where you have a central core that's sort of bookended or sandwiched by two thin sheets of material on either side of it. But the overall styling of the Beosound Emerge is much more minimal and much more elegant. It's not that the PS5 is bad, it's just that they're for completely different users. There's a rich depth to the materials that speaks to a classic heritage without being stuffy or old looking. The materials are really low contrast in general. Now, they're meant to blend into a space rather than stand out. The area of highest contrast is in this sort of brass colored metal piece at the base, which is where the designers decided to put the logo, and I'm sure that was very intentional. They want you to notice that this is a Bang & Olufsen speaker. The brass detail also kind of harkens back to what you'd see on the spine of an antique book. And the mesh textile in the front is a very similar color to what you'd see in the pages of a book, sort of that off-white color. The next thing I notice about this design is a certain level of elegance. There's this sort of stylish grace to it. It's a very balanced design. There isn't any one feature or idea that stands out. All of the details sort of have a similar weight. Now, usually you want some kind of visual hierarchy in the design. You want somebody to look at something first, second, and third. But if you want something to sort of blend into a residential interior, this is a better approach to use, where everything sort of just blends together. Everything feels very balanced. There isn't any one detail that overpowers another. The black colorway is even more understated, and it's very clearly inspired by sort of fluted high-end glassware, which B&O's art directors have very clearly spelled out for us in this image. Another thing that most other speakers want to communicate is powerful sound. So they have like really big visible drivers, or they have a large swath of mesh material that covers a significant portion of the design. They're trying to communicate loudness basically, but the Emerge goes in the completely opposite direction. The only suggestion that this thing is even a speaker is the thin mesh strip in the front. So once again, they're not trying to brag about the fact that this thing is a speaker. They're going for understated elegance. The last word that I think sort of describes this object really well is craftsmanship. Everything sort of fits together really seamlessly. There's very tight tolerances between all of the pieces, and this is a testament to the painstaking effort that went into this manufacturing process. The bent wooden panels of the Emerge are quite similar to iconic Eames plywood furniture, and people are probably making that subconscious association when they look at this design. Overall, the Beosound Emerge is a design that's very consistent in its visual look and feel. It has a lot of depth by using classic materials, and it borrows heavily from the rich heritage of books. It's very elegant in the way that it uses understated, low contrast materials with a very balanced visual hierarchy. And it shows a real commitment to craftsmanship in the way that it's constructed and manufactured. There's some other miscellaneous notes that I think are interesting. So for example, the flared base at the bottom keeps users from putting it on its side. The designers clearly wanted users to only orient the design vertically. I also don't think that the controls being situated at the top makes much sense, especially if you're saying that it's a design that's meant to sit on a bookshelf. It wouldn't be easy to access the controls unless it was on the top shelf. But to be fair, I'm not sure how much this really matters, considering most people will just control the device from their phone. Overall, I think it's a great design though. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate it, and I hope you learned something.